DC here. Hi guys and gals. Well, it is the 18th of August. Big date for us actually, because I made a video, well, the two videos before, talking about 38 plus 7. Well, the 18th was the 7, so now it's actually the 45 today. Yeah, that's about all I'll talk about that for today, but we're having a good time together. We went out and did some geocaching this morning. Later on I'm going to be doing this. So Instant Pot Mongolian beef. I'll be using both Instant Pots. I could even have a third actually to do it. No, one will be for this. I'll be making some Italian wide beans. I think they're called Romano. Quickly in one. And I'll be making rice actually in the Instant Pot as well. So, you know, that'll be good. I think this will be very good actually. This is the Mongolian beef actually is basically a recipe that has, it's pretty much as if you look at the picture, it's one of your classical, I was almost going to say Chinese style, even though it says Mongolian. It's got lots of garlic, it's got fresh ginger, a little bit of soy sauce, the rice wine, and what else, you know, oh yeah, sesame seeds and green onions and so on. So it's going to be nice. Today, while we're chatting, this is for Sultana, Susie. I found this actually in the local store all of a sudden. Walking by, I said, I don't know this beer. It's a beer from Greece. So it says it's from the Olympus Brewery, Ritsona, Avia, somewhere. I don't actually know where it is. Where does it say? Oh, Thessalonica. Okay, so let's try it. It's got one of these caps. We have one company in Switzerland that has these, where you basically just tear off the cap. It's kind of nice. You don't need to have anything special. So we'll see. Ouch. Oh, geez. I almost cut myself. There we are. Yeah, I did cut myself. Okay. So I'll take it in a Swiss beer glass. This is a glass from a brewery that doesn't exist anymore in Switzerland, but that I knew quite well at the time. Yeah. Not a big cut, but still, nevertheless. Dangerous little sucker, aren't you? Oh well. So let's try this thing. So, cheers everybody. Well, it's okay. Sorry, I can't say that it's excellent. It's just okay. It's a very light beer. For the moment, there's not an extreme amount of taste to it. It wasn't very expensive. It was actually very cheap. But, yeah. I have to say I probably would not buy it again. Premium quality Hellenic beer. I don't know. If I was in Greece, probably I'd be drinking wine, you know, in grappa. Well, whatever, it's not grappa, it's ouzo actually over there, yeah. Yamas, nevertheless. What was I going to vlog about today? In about, what is it? 13th, I think, of September. Well, we're leaving for Canada actually on the 6th. We'll have a birthday party with my dad, and on the 13th we're gonna go. Mrs. DC and I will be we'll be taking an Airbnb in my hometown, and the only person, I think I must have mentioned that in other vlogs, but the only person now of the family that still lives there, well, there's my uncle and aunt and a cousin. That's all. Yeah, those are the only ones that are left from the family, even in the region. Yeah, and almost pretty sad actually. My whole mom's family, my whole dad's family. No, actually, there's a cousin from my mom's side. Yeah, that's also there. Yeah, there's still one there. But that's about it. Maybe two cousins. But I mean, there's very, very few people that are left. One of my favorite books, many I read about once a year, Travels with Charlie from John Steinbeck. There is a comment where he goes back, and I've vlogged about this before. When you go back, you can never go back to your hometown once you've left, because it's not going to be the same, and you weren't there when things were changing. And I've been back a few times, just walking through. I've never slept there. So we left there, it was in mid-70s, probably 74 or something like that. Late 74, I think it was, yeah. And I don't think I've ever slept there since, So it'll be interesting to see. The Mrs. DC and I, 45 years ago, met on a blind date over there. The house where we met for that blind date actually burnt down. That's a story on its own, a very interesting one in a way, but anyway, it's a story on its own. Both the blind date, which I've talked about before, and why the house burnt down. Our house where we lived has been changed a lot. People did a lot of modification, renovations and stuff like that. And I can't remember who it was that said this, but it's basically, if you go to your hometown or any place like that, it's like putting your foot in a river. The water that's going around your feet is never the same from one moment to another. So some things might even look the same, but nothing will be the same. Friends will be gone. The people, especially in my case, the older people are either passed away or they might not even recognize me. The people of my age, most have left the town. Actually, it might be interesting to see if any come back. I have heard that one or two actually came back, but I'm not going to search for them. We'll be doing some geocaching, probably walking around the town. There's a few historic geocaches around there. I think we'll go to a restaurant that never existed when we were there, when we were kids. There are a few, hot dog places and stuff like that. You had to drive quite a few miles out of town to find a place for a pizza, and that was not existing when I was a kid. Probably in some of the I guess there was a ski center there, so there were a few restaurants near the ski center. There was at the time, but really there were very few things. I sometimes kind of wonder, that's where you see that we're in a different age. If you go back, I'm going to be 61 in a few days, actually. Actually a few weeks, I should say. But when you think about it, when I was early teens or in the 60s and so on, in this village there wasn't anything really except for a few stores, hardware stores and things like that, and grocery stores, but people didn't really eat out, or they would go far off to eat out. If you wanted to go dancing, you'd go down to the States, because we were very close to the border. And I have said before that there used to be regular dances. Actually, there was regular dances very early in the town hall, chaperone dances. And the thing that was the closest to actually outings was the summer period, when, we could almost say the wedding period. I've talked about that before, where people would have what they call the showers. So you would rent the hall at the local hotel, and people would come and pay. And once you've paid off for the rent, people would pay for their own drinks. So the hotel would get money from that. I guess probably money from the rental, and what was left over went to the couple. So people would do that very regularly. They'd make what you call a wedding shower, and there'd be dancing. There'd be usually very often, not only very often in that period, there would be a live orchestra, because this is in a way before the discotheque and the disco mobile craze. So yeah, that was basically, there was a lot of the things that people did. It's pretty well much how people would amuse themselves. They'd go they'd go dancing at these type of things. I mean, you didn't have to know the person to go to those showers because you just went and paid, and you were giving money to them. And of course, there was always a little talk or something at those showers. But if you didn't know the people, you didn't really mind. And yeah, things like that. When you were a teenager, though, there really wasn't really much to do. I mean, if you were underage, you could go to those showers, even though if you were a kid. No, people didn't look too much in that respect. I mean, you weren't drinking alcohol, of course. You were drinking usually Coke, Pepsi, or 7-Up. It was one of those three usually. And that was just about it. I'm certain that you've had similar situations when you were kids. I mean, but if you brought up in a small town, there were other ways, I was going to say of having fun, but that would be another vlog on its own. And I'm certain I've talked more than enough. So, Susie, Yamas, I guess if I went to Greece, I'd probably have to find another beer. But anyway, I'll enjoy this one because I'm going to see thinking about you. So that's why it's a very good reason to enjoy it. Yeah. DC signing off. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.